Hi Libra. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for July. July is going to be a fairly high dramatic month for all of us. For you, Libra, it's probably going to hit you mostly in the career arena, which could get a little bit dicey. The reason for all the drama is that we've got a couple of eclipses this month, a solar eclipse followed by a lunar eclipse, and then we've also got a Mercury retrograde period. So I'm going to just click forward to the solar eclipse, which is happening on July 2nd, right here in the sign of Cancer. It's a new moon. A solar eclipse is also always a new moon. And eclipses are times when we're forced to look at our shadow. Times when we must, look behind ourselves at the shadow that we're casting that we may be unaware of. Now, when something like this lands in the 10th house, that being the house of career, I think it's really important to navigate your career in the beginning of the month, which is with as much grace as you can muster, and be aware that something may happen that brings something to your attention that had been entirely not in your awareness. And it's going to shine the light of awareness on that thing. And it's really good to not go into it with too much ego, but just to kind of smooth it out. Because this is a solar eclipse and not a lunar eclipse, it's likely to have an outer world manifestation. In other words, it may be an event that other people see. So there could even be some kind of argument or disagreement at work that just shows you something you hadn't seen before. So beware of that around the 2nd of July. Now, later in the month, we're going to have our other eclipse on the 16th. And that one is the lunar eclipse right here in Capricorn, and that happens in your 4th house. A lunar eclipse is always a full moon, so that's what this is. The 4th house is the house of home and family, domestic life, heritage, and roots. And that can have to do with the family of origin that you came from, or the family of issue that you create as an adult and the home that you live in. Any way you look at it, though, a lunar eclipse is going to be emotional. It's going to stir up a lot of feelings, possibly really big, dramatic feelings. So be careful about what your inner brat may get up to at home in the middle of this month. Julia, what do you think is going on? What's Venus up to?
Well, Libra, Venus is the planet of beauty and relationships, and it's also your ruling planet as well. And for the first couple of days of the month, Venus is still in your ninth house. And the ninth house is a very adventurous, very expansive house, and Venus is a social planet. So you've been wanting to sort of socialize outdoors, maybe doing a little travel, maybe engaging with people who are sort of expanding your mind more. But then after the third, Venus is going to go into your 10th house of career. And that means that you could be getting along a little bit better with your coworkers or your boss. It also might help aid in any type of sort of diplomatic communications that you may need in career this month. But since Venus is also a relationship planet, you could also be a little tempted to maybe start an office romance or at least have a big crush on somebody that you meet through work. Natha, what are you seeing this month?
I love it. Let's talk a little bit about Mars. So Mars is in your 11th house all month. And Mars oftentimes will show us where our competitive edges lie. And the 11th house, of course, is the house of friendships. And you, Libra, you really like to be appreciated. You want to be seen as beautiful and desirable and appealing and attractive. And so you might find with Mars in your 11th that you might feel a little bit competitive, wanting the attention of certain people. And if you feel like you aren't getting it, you might want to kind of push your way to the foreground. So just, be aware of that. And nothing, it's not bad. It can actually be really enlivening too. It might actually give you some juice to really get the attention of anybody whose attention you're wanting. And then, of course, we have Mercury retrograde. And Mercury is going retrograde in the 11th house. And with Mercury retrograde, we're often having to clean up the ways that we communicate. and the ways that we connect with people. So you might find maybe through some of those competitive impulses that you're also going to have to communicate. And of course, Mercury does re-enter your 10th house on the 19th, and the 10th house is the house of career. And both Julia and Jamie mentioned quite a bit about things to expect in that realm. So know that you might be having to negotiate. You might get some feedback from your boss or from your other coworkers about things that maybe you've said in the past or things that you haven't said, and it will be a good month if you're willing and ready to hear constructive criticism. I would say take it, and that's what Mercury retrogrades are all about, is teaching us, showing us how can we improve and how can our lives and experiences actually feel better.
Mm-hmm.
Jamie, what do you think about all of that?
Yeah, it's Mercury retrograde is always a good time to clean up old miscommunications. And when it happens in the 10th house, sometimes it's about some assignment or some instructions that that you're kind of trying to work on, but they're just not working out the way that the assignment suggests that they should. So when Mercury goes retrograde, it might be that you need to go back and ask for those instructions again. And maybe this time they could be communicated a little bit more clearly. So that can smooth out those Mercury retrograde messes that tend to happen. Well, that's all we have for you today, Libra. Thanks for watching. Look for our August horoscope next month, and we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye.